will get started. This is what we're going to make today, and I'm going to go over this in just a minute. I think I did this video I think I did one of these about a year ago, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to do it again since we're trying to use up our pattern paper instead of hoarding it. One thing too that I'm going to offer this week is if you all place a $30 or more order through my online store by Monday, August 20th, this Monday coming up, and use my host code right here, then I'll send you all the materials to make this clutch purse and the note cards. So keep that in mind, and you can go to my online store at shallwestamp.com, and then there's a link to my shopping store. I'm going to wait a few more minutes and make sure we've got people on, and then we'll get that we're going to make. And again, it's another way that will help you use up your pattern paper. As I mentioned before, if you place a $30 or more order through my online store through Monday the 20th and use the hostess code that I have listed here, it's also listed on my blog, which is at shallwestamp.com. And go to my online store. If you make a $30 or more order, then I will send you all of the supplies needed to make this clutch purse and the note card. This is a purse that I did this about a year or so ago. There's no gluing, so I've used magnets, and I'm going to go through all the thing. You open it up, and this is all folded. This part here, the purse itself, and then we're going to make 4 coordinating note cards, and we're going to do those a little bit different. So I want to show you how that works, and then we're going to close it, and there's magnets in here that hold it shut. Isn't that cute? I mean, I think it would make a great gift. Now, the first thing I want to show you before I start showing you how to fold the paper is what we're going to do a little bit differently with the note cards. Normally, the note cards you can buy from Stampin' Up! Are, you get 20 in a package, and they are $6.50, and they're on page 193 of the catalog in case you look for them. And then what we're going to do, and if you saw in this clutch, I used, instead of using the white, because they come in Whisper White, the note cards do, and they're 5 inches by 7. So we're going to cut our cardstock as the base, and then we're going to use these for the top white and the inside of the card. So I'm going to show you how to do that first, and then we'll get into making your purse. And I'm going to use this paper for the card, and I'll talk to you about that in just a second. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, let me pull in my paper cutter, and I'm using So Saffron. This is one of the colors that coordinates with this paper. If you don't have the Stampin' Trimmer by Stampin' Up, I highly recommend that you get one. They run $30, and it opens up to 14 inches, which is great if you do scrapbooking, and especially with us using our 12 by 12 paper. And it's 2-in-1. You've got your cutting blade, which is the darker one, and then your scoring blade is the lighter. It's a light gray. Then you have all these grids on here, and they are marked at 1/4 inch. So we're going to take an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock at the 8.5 at the top, and we're going to cut this down to 7, which is our size of what's going to be our greeting card. So we're going to cut this off, and we'll put that off, and you can use that for something else. And then we're going to move this over. Let me get my blades up there. We're going to move this over to 3.5, right, which is half of 7, and we're going to score this. Okay, so we're going to score that. Now we're going to turn this, and we're going to cut it 5 inches, because that's the size of our note cards. So we're going to cut it 5. Let me move my scoring blade. So we're going to cut it 5. And then you're going to slide this second piece over to 5, and you're going to have a little bit more of a scrap. Not much, but you'll have a little bit more. And then we're going to cut that off, okay? So that's how we're going to make our bases. We have our note cards, which are 3.5 by 5. So we're going to cut this down. So this is 5 inches, so we're going to cut this to 4 3/4. And I can put the stuff out there when I do the when I go in and edit the video. I'll put the numbers if you don't have time, or you can rewatch it and write it down. So you're going to cut this down to 4 3/4, and then we're going to turn it, and since our card is 3.5, we're going to make it 3 1/4, right? Because we want to cut it down 1/4 inch so that we have that border. Okay, so we're going to cut that, and that's that's going to be our top piece. Now this one, see where the score is from the card? We're going to turn our card, and we're going to cut that off. So again, we're going to put this at 3 1/4, and then just pull down, and there we have our pieces that will go on our card. So just fold this in half. Of course, you want to burnish it with your bone folder. This will go on the inside, and this is going to go on the outside. just like that. We'll get to that in just a minute, and then we'll do that with the other piece, but I'm just going to do one just for time's sake, and to also just to show you how to do it, and then it's something that you should do. So we're now going to make our clutch for the purse. We are going to, I want this to be my outside of the purse, and this will be my inside. So if the outside, you want to put it face down. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold your paper in half. So you're going to get your tips. Now, this is the Share What You Love paper, which is a little bit thicker. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Share What You Love specialty designer paper. This is a little bit thicker than the normal designer series paper. And I tell you that because we're going to be doing some folding, and it's a little bit more, it's a little harder to do it this way, but that's okay. So we want to get the tips lined up, and then we're going to come down here, and we're going to crease this, and we're going to take our bone folder, and we want to make sure we get a really good burnish on this, okay? Now, the next step is we're going to grab our paper, and we're going to roll it up about 3/4 of an inch. It doesn't have to be exact. So I'm just going to, I just stick my fingers in here, and I'm going to start kind of walking it to get it to bend. Now keep in mind, we've got 2 sheets here, so it's going to be a little bit more, a little harder to get it to bend the way we want it to. So I'm just going to walk it down and make sure we get it there, and then I'm trying to fold it, and I'm just going to walk it this way and fold it down, make sure, and it should be about 3/4 of an inch or so. Okay, so once I get that, then you want to take your bone folder and you want to go across the whole thing and make sure you get it nice and crisp, okay? Because what you're doing is you're making the bottom of the card, all right? So we folded it up tip to tip, roll this up about 3/4 of an inch, and get it nice and burnished. We're going to take our paper and turn it this way, so this is going portrait. So we want this to be at the top. We're going to open our paper. So now see, if you can see my crease lines right here, this is what's making the bottom of our purse right here. So now we're going to take, and we're just going to gently fold this tip up here. And all we're going to do is hold that tip, and so that's together. So I'm going to put it right there. And I just want to squish, see these 2 score lines? I just want to come right there, and I'm just going to put a little crease right there with my finger, because that's going to tell me where my center point is. So once we've done that, then open your card. There's my center point. So I'm going to take this tip right here, and I'm folding it in, and then we're going to fold it like that. Use your bone folder, and we're going to burnish that, and then we're going to flip it around. I do it this way because it's easier for me to line up my points. And get your points lined up, tip to tip, and again, we're going to come here and fold this and burnish. So we've done that, right? Now, fold it. The center fold that you just did, you're going to fold it up to a mountain. So that's our mountain. Now this one, we're going to make it a valley. So we're going to go like that. And then this one, you're going to fold up as well. And you're making 2 valleys. Okay, so you have a valley and a mountain. Well, this way it's a valley mountain. You got 2 mountains and a valley here. All right, so that's the bottom of your purse. So far, so good. Now, all you're going to do is you've got these together. You're going to fold this back. And it doesn't matter. It's your, however far back you want your little, you know, how far back you want your purse to go. So I'm just going to put mine about like that, and I'm going to burnish it. And then the easy part is you're going to flip this over, and then this one, you're just going to line it up. You want to make sure that's down. So you're going to line this up with that side, do your burnishing, okay? And there's your clutch purse. And if you see, let me open this one, and this is what we're going to do. All right, see how this one opens? And then you just slide your cards and envelopes right inside. Isn't that cool? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add magnets, because we want this to adhere. I recommend, I'm going to put them on the inside here, and I recommend you do that. I did one, and I put here on each side of the inside and covered it with like a small flower, but it just didn't seem to stick. So I think it's sturdier if you put it on the inside. And what you can do is you can get the magnets. You can buy these at Lowe's or Home Depot. They come 12 in a pack, and they're it's 0.375 is the diameter of these magnets. And you need 2, 1 for each side. And you're going to use glue dots. I pulled 2 off, and they're still connected, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a glue dot, and I'm going to do 2 because I'm just kind of weird. All right, so because I like to make sure they stick. So I'm going to put, and the glue dot actually pretty much covers. I'm going to put a glue dot there, And then I want mine closer up here at the top so that I know it's going to stick. So I'm going to place that there. And then I'm going to take another glue dot. All right, now I'm going to take this magnet off. So we're going to put the glue dot right there. Now I'm going to add a glue dot on the top of this to hold it when we put the paper down. All right, so we're going to do that. All right, now I'm going to come back and add some adhesive because I'm going to hold that flap down. Whoopsie. Look, see what happens? You got to watch it. So flip this over. Now what I'm going to do is just drop that on there, and that's where it's going to go. I'm going to put a glue dot on that, and then it should fall. And let me go ahead and put one on the top part. All right, so then we'll just let it do its thing. All right, so we're going to lay it there, and it should just go right on top of where the other one is. And let's go ahead and add some adhesive. I'll go ahead while I got this one open. I'm going to add some adhesive here just so it sticks down, and it's going to cover that up. And then I'll go ahead on this one, and I'll just, I can lightly lift it. See, there's my glue dot right there. And we'll just put a little bit of adhesive here. I just like them to be down so you don't really see them. All right, so that's how you'll get them to close, okay? So that's that. The card, I'm going to set this off to the side for just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and adhere the inside to my note card. And then we are going to take another piece of this designer paper, which I've already done. I've pre-cut everything just to save time. And we're going to cut 2 strips. We're going to cut one at 3 1/4 by 1 1/2, and then this one is 3 1/4 by 3/4. And what we'll do is we're going to add this, and I'm going to put this here. So because I want it to coordinate with my, I want this to coordinate with my purse. So I'm just going to lay this at the bottom. Now you don't have to add the second piece if you don't want to. I want to kind of coordinate. I know since that's what's the back side of the paper, and you can either put it you can butt it up to this, or you can lay it over. I'm going to lay it over a little bit because I don't want quite as much of that. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some adhesive on here. All right, so we'll just put some snail on that. And then I'm just going to probably put about, I don't know, maybe 1/4 of that on here and stick that down. And if you have any extra, like a little extra hanging over, you can always trim it, because sometimes, even though we cut it, doesn't seem like it's cut right. So I'll just trim that off. No one's going to know the difference. And then we're going to go ahead and stamp it. And I'm using the Love What You Do stamp set. And I'm going to do the Beautiful You, and then I'm going to use this. I'm going to stamp this in So Saffron, and then I'm going to stamp this in Grapefruit Grove, but I'm going to stamp off on that. I'll show you what, and you can, whatever color. I'm trying to pull colors in with that too. So let me open my So Saffron. Whoopsie, I almost dropped my stamp. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stamp that. Now, one thing, let me get my cushion out here and move my stamp set out of the way. One thing too, which I'll show you in just a minute when I get ready to clean this stamp. If you haven't purchased this chamois thing, you got to do that. All right, so I'm going to stamp It's a Beautiful Day on towards the right hand side, and then I usually let it sit for just a minute or so, just to get the ink to transfer. So I'm going to do that, and then the chamois. If you've not purchased this. This is the chamois that is, you wet it, and it's a way that you can clean your stamps so much easier. You just wipe it and clean it. Now keep in mind, the chamois will start getting a little funky looking, which is fine. It's not going to hurt your stamps or anything. And then you just rinse it out. It will still have stains to it, but it will be fine. The cases you can purchase, and they're on page 206, as well as the chamois. The cases are $7, and you get 4, and then the chamois is $8. And if you purchase those, let me know, and I'll print you out one of these, and you can put that on there. And plus, I think the one thing I like about it, it's so easy and compact to carry. All right, so now we're going to stamp our flower. I just had to throw that in there because I love that little chamois. It's just quick and easy. All right, we're going to use Grapefruit Grove, and I'm going to stamp this little flower, but I'm going to stamp off. This is my paper. I use my paper piercing pad, and I just cover it with paper because my customers tend to, as you can see, we sometimes will stamp off and they make a little bit of a mess, but that's all right. So I do that so it doesn't get on my block. And I'm just going to stamp this off to the side. Now, what you could do, which I think might look a little cuter, would be to put that in Grapefruit Grove, and then maybe do that in the sun in the So Saffron. But that's what we're going to work with. So let me close my ink pad. And I love these new ink pads, the way they open and close. And then we're going to go ahead and attach that to our card front. All right, and I hope y'all are there, because I can't see anything on my iPads. All right, so there's our card. Purse will hold 4 cards, so I'm just going to do one just for time purposes, but you'll put that in here with your envelopes and they'll be all decorated. Now, once you get that done, we want to decorate the outside. So what I've done is I've just cut a couple of flowers and leaves, and I used 2 punches. One is I think this is retired, and I honestly don't remember what the name of this punch is, but I cut out 2 of these in the rich razzleberry, and then I used our leaf punch with old olive, and I cut 3 of those out. What I'm going to do is take my bone folder, and I'm just going to curl the flower petals, just curl them down a little bit with your bone folder, and we'll do this one. And then we're going to take a dimension, we're going to use a glue dot for this. All right, so we're going to take a glue dot, and this is the easy way of doing these things. I'm going to put 2 on here. Let me tear this off. All right, so let me put that. All right, so we'll do that, and we're going to attach that to this, and I'm going to off-center them so it makes it, look, you can see the petals underneath. And then I'm going to take 2 more glue dots. Actually, I might do 3. And then just stick them on here. And then I'm going to take my leaves, and I'm going to put them underneath, so I'm going to use a glue dot because you're not going to see it. So I'm going to take a leaf, and I'm just going to place one like right here, and I'm just going to push down on it. And then I'm going to take another glue dot, and I'll place one, I don't know, right over here. I kind of think that looks kind of goofy, but we'll leave it like that. Okay, I think I'll just do 2. All right, and then I'm using the gold faceted gems, and I'm going to take, let's go with a big one. So I'm just going to pop this off. Make sure you get the adhesive that's on the back of it, and we're just going to put that in the center. I like that because it kind of pulls that, So Saffron up to that. So there you go. There is our clutch purse. Quick and easy. Great way to use up your 12 by 12 paper. And then we will take our cards. And I have 2 others. There's one I haven't done, but again, that's fine. So we'll take our cards, and we're going to set them in here with our envelopes. And we'll put them in here. And look at that. So they hold 4. And this makes such a nice gift. Let me put this one under here. Isn't that an awesome way? And I've got one more to finish. Isn't that a great way? Nice gift, I think, to give somebody. And it's a great way that you can use up your pattern paper. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. You can email me at dawn@shallwestamp.com. And don't forget, if you place an order of $30 or more through my online store by Monday, then I will send you all of the supplies that you need to make this beautiful clutch, along with the paper for your note cards. All right, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for attending. If you'll share my video with friends of yours, I would greatly appreciate it. And until next week, I'm going to do this again every Thursday, and it's either going to be 2 or 2:30, and I'll post it usually the Monday before. Thanks again, guys, and have a great day.